Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Coffee Hours with Greg with a special, we have a special program here. This is our first one. Happy New Year. Happy 2026. So glad to see you here today on this fabulous Friday, the New Year 2026. And hope you had a great New Year's Eve, a beginning to new prosperity and new opportunity. And I'm so glad that you decided to tune in today. And so today we're going to talk about the title of our show is why more money makes traders worse. Okay, I know this is a kind of we're not going to talk about the goals and all those other things. I'm going to really get into the nitty gritty of how to manage money to create more wealth. Okay, um, and okay, we got a little feedback here. And so simply, if I gave you an unlimited leverage, unlimited trades, and unlimited capital, it would actually destroy you as a trader. Okay. And that's exactly why God didn't give Israel unlimited provisions in the wilderness. Okay. So I'm going to bring this home. Tonight, I'm going to show you why most traders don't fail because of bad entries. They fail because they don't understand risk, abundance, and discipline. And the Bible explained it thousands of years ago. Okay. So let me ask you a serious question. Okay. So I want you to like just reflect on it, close your eyes and reflect on this question a minute. Why is it that most traders don't blow their accounts on their worst trades? Right? But they blow it on their best trades. So one more time, why is it that most traders don't blow their accounts on their worst trades, but on their best ones? It's after the big win, after the confidence spike, after after the thought, I finally figured this out, right? Those are famous last words. That's usually when the damage starts. Now, here's what's interesting. This isn't a new problem and it's not a trading problem. It's a human problem. Now, thousands of years ago, the Israelites were in the wilderness, no farms, no savings, no backup plan. They just left Egypt, right? And God provided food from heaven called manna, okay? But here was the rule. They would gather only what they needed for the day, if you know how the story goes. There was no hoarding, no stockpiling, no just in case. Why? Because when some people gathered more than they needed, it rotted overnight. And let that sink in. Excess without discipline always decays. Okay, one more time. Excess without discipline always decays. And let me mute this phone here. Okay. And this is where the trading comes in. Most traders think their problem is entries, indicators, and strategy. But the real problem is this: they don't know how to handle abundance. They over risk after wins, they revenge trade after losses. They press size because they're afraid the opportunity won't come back. Okay, that's a scarcity mindset. And that's not strategy failure, that's mana failure. Okay. So tonight, what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you why small controlled risk keeps you alive in the market and why daily consistency beats home runs and how this ancient principle explains professional risk management better than any trading book. This isn't going to be preachy. This isn't going to be about religion. So don't get all your pants in a bind, right? This is about wisdom. If you're tired of emotional trading, if you're tired of drawdowns that don't make sense, if you want to trade with clarity, confidence, and consistency, you're exactly where you need to be, right? So grab a pen, clear the distractions, because once you see this, you won't look at risk management or your trading the same way again. Let's get into it, okay? So the market doesn't reward aggression, It rewards respect, right? And no, God didn't remove risk. He taught discipline inside it. And your edge doesn't fail you, your emotions do. And survival is the first form of profitability, right? Live to fight another day. Capital preservation is job number one. Capital preservation. And the second job is to grow your trade, right? Okay. So so this is what we're going to do. We're going to talk about the actual foundation of this. Going using actually using a scripture, using the you know Second Corinthians 8:15, right? And so again, God didn't give Israel abundance to store. He gave them enough to survive and succeed daily. And that's exactly how professional traders manage risk, right? So, no, Israel in the wilderness, there's no safety net. There's daily dependence. The rule, gather what you need, no hoarding. Trust tomorrow will come. Okay. So, no, when you believe that there no this is it, this is the last trade, or there's no the market's going to dry up, or work while the sun is shining, those are kind of things. They sound like wisdom, but they're actually giving you a scarcity mindset. When you should set hours, you should set business hours like a shop. I set 2 hour windows to trade. From 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern time. And after that, I just go ahead and turn it off, right? Just go ahead and just close shop. If I can't find a trade in 2 hours using my system, there's probably nothing to be had. And the only thing I do is put my mind, my body, the emotions, the fatigue will start to wear on you, right? And then you start making errors and you start giving money back. Okay. So excess isn't necessarily a blessing. Okay. So when we're talking about pip and run and our risk model, it's a sorry a core. Pip and run is actually based on the parable of the talents and goes into a lot of biblical foundation. But I'm going to reveal this wisdom that's inside pip and run. And we number one, we fixed risk. We have a daily portion. My system already emphasizes small, repeatable risks, right? Risking no more than 1 to 2% of your account and taking high probability entries. Those entries over and over and over again, repeatedly. If you look at any of the statements of myself or my students, you can see that we have small, repeatable gains over and over again over a set amount of time, right? We have clean execution rules, and we're looking for the same thing: rinse, wash, and repeat. And so that's Exodus 16, right? Where this go out, gather your manna for the day, and eat it, and then go back again, right? So every trade is today's manna. No single trade matters, right? Some people, well, what was your best trade? Like, I've taken thousands of trades. I couldn't tell you one from another. Uh, you know, so no single trade actually matters. We were in it for the long haul, for the long game, for the marathon, right? We're not going for the home run. Now we might hit a home run, but that's not the focus. That's I mean, the strategy can be adopted to do that, but again, consistency and having a steady stream of income, that's what's the core of the strategy. So you don't win big, but you stay alive long enough for compounding to work. And that's really important, right? So the pillar of the pip and run is position stacking and gathering carefully. In pip and run, stacking works because the direction is clear. We're scalping. We're basically what we call trend scalping. We're using the direction of the higher time frame that has a high probability of happening over and over again. We talk about trending. If you to look at social media and they talk about something's trending, Trump is trending or Gwen Stefani is trending, right? Trending means it has a lot of attention, right? And when something is out of favor, it's no longer trending. So when we when we trade with the trend, we are trading what the majority of people, the volume of the market is pushing the market one direction, like going with the flow of a river. So the odds of it going back against us is low. So we're using high probability trend scalping in the direction of the higher time frame. We're not going back and forth. Um, that's only, and then we're controlling our risk, right? We're using stops and limits to control our risk, and size is earned, not forced, which means we only increase position size relative to how much money we have made, right? So we keep the size the same for a period until we are able to increase our position size because we have grown our balance, we've grown our equity, right? It's like buying a house that appreciates in value. When it appreciates enough, right, you can borrow out of that house and buy another house, right? Or buy a couple of houses, right? You can use the equity. So, well, forex and real estate are highly correlated. Think about it. You got a lot and a real estate lots, and you have this way of you have equity and balance. You can borrow equity out and open more positions. That's another topic though. So this mirrors gathering after provision appears, right? So when the provision appears, you gather it, not before, not emotionally. You don't stack because price moved. You stack because structure confirms. And that's disciplined abundance. We have structures in the pip and run patterns that we look at where we have the highest advantage in the market. And so we're basically, if you ever played blackjack, if you have an 8 and a 3 and it's 11, or you have a 10 showing, this is when the player would double down or double his bet. Why? Because there are more 10s in the deck, and the goal is to get 21. So you have an 8-3 showing. Well, that's an opportunity to double your bet because the odds are in your favor. And we look at structures that are in our favor, which provide a high probability for us to stack. Okay. So, pillar three, a daily stop, a Sabbath law. The Sabbath wasn't optional. The Sabbath was the day of rest, right? And so neither is so the daily stop is like your Sabbath law. The Sabbath wasn't optional. Neither is a daily max loss. And this is critical for students. God didn't say rest if you feel like it. He said stop so you don't destroy yourself, right? And I remember a time when I was trading the market. Actually, I'll tell you a better example. One of my students who was doing a challenge, he took he was taking $100,000 up to a million or so, and then he overtraded. He traded for like 3 days straight. He drank and he smoked too, which didn't help. He had a heart attack, and and luckily he had stops in place, but he basically pushed his. We had so many winning trades. He was over trading. He was going beyond his physical limitations, and then he wind up wind up going in the hospital, and losing part of the profits that he worked so hard to achieve. So just because the market will always be there, and so there's no need to keep pressing and pressing and pressing. Turn it off. It'll be there tomorrow. Okay. So so again, having we stop so we don't destroy ourselves. We set a max daily loss, a max number of trades, or a time-based trading window, right? And so I use a time-based trading window of 2 hours. And whether I take 100 trades in 2 hours or 50 trades in 2 hours, which sounds like a lot, but considering that I'm trading with a trend, when you're using pip and run, our metrics are a lot different than normal metrics. So I wouldn't say do 100 trades if you don't have a reliable system that you can trust and that you can stand by and that has given you past results over time. Okay. If you want to find out more about the pip and run strategy, go ahead and just mention it in the comments, and we can do a breakthrough strategy call, and I can show you how this all works out. Anyway, so again, that's spiritual and professional alignment. You want your trading to fit around your life not your life around your trading. The fourth pillar, withdrawals equals capital flow, not greed. Okay. And I really stress this with my students that if you're not making withdrawals, you're not really trading. You're in a hobby, right? Amateurs work for nothing, professionals get paid. And so a withdrawal is how you get paid in this market. So you are not taking a withdrawal, then you are just plain trader. You are not a trader because professional traders do not do this just for fun. They do this because it is a job, a profession, a career, and careers and professionals get paid for their skill. And if you're not getting paid, it's because you probably lack this skill. And that's something that you can fix, which is what Elite Traders University is all about. But anyway, withdrawals equals capital flow, not greed. Manna stopped once Israel entered the land. The system changed. The same with traders. The early phase of trading is capital protection, right? That's number one. That's job one. I remember Ford used to have a commercial. Quality is job one, right? Well, trading, protecting your capital is job one. And then there's, the second job, growth phase. You want to circulate your capital and grow it, right? And you're able to grow it. The third part is to scale, right? You're able to create more, finding more opportunities and you get more proficiency, you can start scaling and growing the size of your positions and also make withdrawals consistently, right? And that's important. Okay, this teaches students that profit taking is not fear, it's maturity, right? Take the bird. We say a bird in hand is worth two in the bush, right? What we say in trading, we take the bird off the screen, right? You've got a bird on the screen. If I see a big bullish engulfing candle and I'm up like 1%, I am not letting it. I'm not thinking it's going to keep going higher. I'm going to take the fast move, right? If I get a fast move, I'm going to close it because guess what? That fast move, that big bullish engulfing candle, will probably shrink to a doji as we have other people taking profits as well. Okay, so it's very important to take profit. People say, "Well, I'm going to keep growing my account. I'm going to compound it." Compound your account outside of your trading account. Okay, compound it. Pull the money out, make a withdrawal, right? And then put it in your bank account, right? The Hip National Bank, right? What's in it for me? WIIFM. You ever listen to that radio station? What's in it for me, right? Because it does a couple of things. When you pull the money out, it tells yourself, tells other people, whether you share that information or not, that you are a real trader and not a hobbyist, right? You're just not in it for a hobby. I'm a trader. No, you're not. You're a hobbyist. You press some buttons and you play a video game, even though some video game players actually get paid. Even they get paid, okay? They get paid. So the trader should be paid, right? So you're telling your subconscious mind that this is serious, right? And so therefore it will give you more successful setups. It'll open your mind's eye, your perspective, where will open up to more opportunities, right? It's the whole he who has much more will be given unto him, right? If you have, then more will come to you. So you want to train yourself, train your subconscious mind, train people around you and your own thinking that this is a real thing, a real deal, Holyfield, that you're getting paid, right? You're ringing the bell, cha-ching, right? So withdrawals are important, and I post withdrawals in my group, showing people, look, withdrawal, 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 withdrawal. Take the withdrawal. I made $50. It's not a whole lot. I gotta pay. Well, you keep saying it's not enough. It will always be not enough. Okay. I don't care if it's $25. If you make a withdrawal and you get it back, it does something to your subconscious mind. That's why in our stage three, our live trading, I tell people start off with $100 or $200 and double that account. And when you double it, pull the money out. And that way you actually have a, you have a record, of going through the process, and then all of a sudden now it becomes a very real thing to you. Your trade becomes tangible. you feel a lot more lifted getting paid. Okay. This is not slavery to 1864. We're all free. We get paid for working, right? You shouldn't muzzle an ox that treads the corn. If you put the work in, you should get paid. You deserve to be paid, right? So it's very important to be able to do this, to be able to look at the trading as a job, as a profession, as a career, right? And again, rule one, survival first. You got to survive, right? You got to be able to last after your first day of trading, right? And so if a trade can take you out, it doesn't belong in your plan. So if one trade wipes your account out, you're not really trading, right? You are gambling. So you want to risk small enough to think clearly and with a size small enough for you to sleep at night, but also significant enough that you are engaged, right? Because if you're trading 0.01 cents a pip and you make 40 cents, you're probably not going to be too motivated about it. That's why in our stage one, we trade with one standard lot on a $10,000 account. And that way, hey, your trades are making you no 100, 200, $300 a shot, right? And people can get motivated by that. Your account may be smaller, and so you're going to have to adjust, with that. But at least in our initial phase of training in Pip and Run, we use a one standard lot with a $10,000 account in simulation, right? In our simulated model, where you can actually play and go through historical data. Okay. So, rule two, today matters not tomorrow. One good trade doesn't mean more size, and one bad trade doesn't mean revenge. You want to use the same risk, the same process, the same discipline. Again, we do that in stage one using the same, the same position size through the entire process, right? In fact, I don't even encourage people to stack their, sometimes what we'll do is in group coaching, I'll show people, okay, open up 2, 3, or even 10 standard lots when you have a really good pattern. But for the most part, we keep the position size consistent throughout the entire 2 weeks of simulated trading to build that discipline, to build that muscle. And rule three, excess creates errors. The moment you feel safe, right, and you feel invincible, you're the most vulnerable. Okay. The moment you think I got this thing, I solved the equation, that's when disaster can strike. With big wins, you want to slow down, right? And a losing streak, you also want to slow down. Emotion is the enemy on both sides, right? We have something we talk about called TUI. DUI is drinking, driving under the influence, right? And, you get pulled over, because your judgment's impaired. Well, they found out in research in France, they did a research study of people who were trading, and they actually took their blood samples and found high amounts of endorphins and other hormones and other good feeling hormones, which impaired their judgment, made them take more risk and blow up their accounts. So basically, I called this TUI, trading under the influence, that after big wins, your brain is going to secrete these types of hormones, which will impair your judgment. And that's why you want to slow down and reduce your position size after a big win, right? Don't keep pressing the button, right? And I'm sure you have a story of, having a large win and then having a big loss afterwards, right? Now, rule four, capital must flow. Money that isn't respected eventually leaves. So you want to withdraw your profits, reduce your exposure after streaks, and let capital breathe, right? Sometimes you might have to, the market starts after a big trend, usually the market moves sideways. But what happens, that TUI, that those endorphins, those good feeling hormones make you overtrade, and you're trading within that range now, right? After a big trend, and then you just fall in love with pound yen. You fall in love with gold. You fall in love with euro, and after a big streak, a big run, we have a sideways consolidation. We call wave four, wave two, right? So we have this consolidation period, this basing period, and it turns into chop, and the chop will make you give all of your profits back. So it's very important for you to step away from the market or find another market. And then rule five, you want to trust the system, right? You don't need every single move, and you just need your move. And this kills FOMO dead when you wait for your trade, you wait for your setup, like a baseball player waiting for his pitch. He might get four or five pitches, right? I mean, you get the most you can get, four if you foul off one, but you wait for your pitch. And when that ball comes right over the plate, you smack it, right? Um, because eventually you will get your trade. You will get, in fact, with Pip and Run, then we have six patterns, three bullish and three bearish patterns, and we just rinse, wash, and repeat, and we look for those patterns, and then that way we can actually take action. So how can you use this immediately in your trading? Okay. So you want to, so again, you want to um, look for, I mean, make sure you have a system, make sure you have enough capital, and also calculate your position size, right? You want to be able to look, actually even create an execution checklist. And if that checklist, if there's something that you would like, go ahead and type, checklist, and I can get that to you, right? And also, the checklist, you also want to, get involved with our quiz. We have a diagnostic quiz to actually see where you are in your trading and what your mindset is. And it's just 15 simple questions to help you become a professional trader. You want to go ahead and take that quiz. I can drop it here in the chat box. You can type quiz, and I can pop that in there for you, um, in our box right there. Okay. So again, God didn't remove risk from the wilderness. He taught Israel how to live inside it. That's what you do as for traders, not signals, not hype, not promises. You teach you want to learn how to survive long enough to win. That's elite, that's biblical, that's Pip and Run, right? And so we're going to go ahead and any questions at the end. If you have any questions about the markets, we'll go ahead and take a couple of minutes to answer any questions that you may have. Okay, and I see a chat box. And hold on, let me go and fix that too. I'm just gonna check. All right, I see John in there. It's a big hi to Adrian. Happy New Year. And then I see Shiraj. Nice to see you. Happy New Year's to you as well. Okay. Awesome. 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 Yeah. And we're starting. Let me also tell you about our challenge that we're doing for starting the year to start the year off right. Is our 2 week challenge of taking our $50 to $10,000 challenge. And so I'm going to be doing live trading during we're going to either do New York or Asia, depending on where we are. If we hit our target for Asia, we'll do New York. But if we go ahead and do that, we'll do that. We'll trade for 1 hour. It'll be 1 hour with me, um, Monday through Thursday, Monday through Friday. No, and then we'll do that, and then we'll trade for an hour, and then I'm going to give you a really cool spreadsheet on taking what we just talked about and placing into a strategy of actually building an account. So you're gonna be building an account with me. We're gonna do it for 2 weeks. The spreadsheet actually goes out for 30 days. But I think after we do 2 weeks with each other with the spreadsheet, you will be able to continue it on your own. It'll be a great start for you to be able to take a small account and grow it. Okay. Um, Again, we'll go through the mechanics. You'll be able to take the trades that I take. I've scaled accounts from $100 to $10,000. Well, we can at least for the 2 weeks given a regular spreadsheet, and we'll get that the compounding spreadsheet to you as a gift. We'll also give you access to my market heat map, and you'll have access to that for the year, and you'll also be able to be part of our VIP group where we can chat. You can chat with the community about this challenge, about this 50 to $10,000 challenge. And it'll be fantastic because, hey, $10,000 to start off the year is, that's basically all you need. If you're able to do, 2 to 3% per day on $10,000, that's going to create a good start for the new year. So if you're interested about that, then you can email me at Greg at Elite Traders U if you're interested in that challenge, or in that, if I can, finally, I'm kind of, our thing is kind of frozen here. Right. But yeah, go ahead and put this right. You can email me at Greg at EliteTradersU.com. Again, we'll do the everything's kind of freezing up here. Okay. Okay, with that, it's 9:31. I don't see any questions in the chat. And we will go ahead and sign off. But remember, uh, you know, why buy and hold? We can pip and run. God bless you guys, and have a happy new year.